C.S. Lewis once said, "Friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value, rather it is one of those things which give value to survival." Have you ever felt the weight of negative influences in your life, pulling you away from your true potential? Think about it. The people you surround yourself with shape your path more than you might realize. Imagine your future being a reflection of your closest friends. If you desire transformation, start by evaluating your circle. Beyond your personal relationship with Jesus, your friendships play a pivotal role in shaping your destiny. God's plan for you is a future filled with hope, purpose, and prosperity. Stay tuned and dive deeper with us into how you can align your relationships with God's vision for your life. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like and leave a comment before we continue to the next powerful insight. Can I get a God is great from you? Have you ever stopped to ponder whether the environments and relationships in your life are guiding you towards the divine purpose that God has set for you? C.S. Lewis once said, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." This profound statement underscores the importance of constantly evaluating our surroundings and connections. Are your relationships fostering growth, inspiration, and improvement? Or are they stunting your spiritual and personal development? If your answer leans towards the latter, it might be time to make some significant changes. Reflect on Lewis's insight about companionship in the Four Loves, where he emphasizes that true friends elevate one another, pushing each other towards virtue and greater aspirations. Consider the weeds in your garden of life. Weeds, much like negative influences, can choke the life out of the good plants trying to grow. It's crucial to identify and remove these detrimental elements. How often do you find yourself compromising your values to fit in or to avoid conflict? Lewis reminds us in Mere Christianity that integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Are you maintaining your integrity, or are you allowing yourself to be led astray by those who do not have your best interests at heart? Imagine a ship sailing towards its destination. If it is constantly being steered off course by tumultuous waters and harsh winds, it may never reach its intended port. Similarly, if your life is surrounded by negative influences, you may never achieve the great purpose God has planned for you. The Bible says in Proverbs 27 verse 17, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Are your relationships sharpening you, making you better, or dulling your spiritual edge? It's a hard truth, but sometimes we must have the courage to distance ourselves from those who bring out the worst in us. Lewis speaks of courage in the Screwtape Letters, suggesting that it is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Do you have the courage to step away from toxic relationships, even if it means being alone for a season? Your purpose is too significant, too divine to be squandered in unproductive environments. Remember Lewis's words, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. It is through making difficult choices and setting boundaries that you prepare yourself for the extraordinary path God has laid out for you. Evaluate your circle. Are the people in your life consistently pulling you down, causing you to compromise your values? Have the courage, in love, to create some distance. It's not about abandoning others, but about protecting your God-given purpose. What are the things you're holding on to in this season that you're unwilling to walk away from? Have you ever wondered how these attachments might be stunting your growth? God desires us to be in a constant state of growth, and sometimes this requires us to release what is familiar to us. Reflect on the wisdom of C.S. Lewis, who once said, "There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind." This profound insight reminds us that clinging to the past can prevent us from embracing the new blessings God has in store for us. Isn't it even more disheartening to realize that holding on to the wrong people in your life is preventing you from meeting the right ones? Reflect on your closest relationships. Are they comprised of stable, consistent, joyous, godly, and responsible individuals who propel you towards your destiny? The Bible says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Proverbs 27 verse 17. This signifies the importance of surrounding yourself with people who elevate and better you. Many people remain stuck because they fail to examine their inner circle. Consider these questions. Who do you have in your life? What are you dedicating your time and energy to? Are you constantly extinguishing fires, striving to keep others happy, or burdened with guilt for not meeting their demands? This constant strain will inevitably exhaust you. Change is essential, for you can't please everyone. C.S. Lewis profoundly stated, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream, but how can you dream anew when your thoughts are constantly influenced by those around you?" The company you keep has a direct impact on your mindset and future. Do you find yourself surrounded by chronic complainers? Or are you with individuals who think creatively, set lofty goals, and uplift you? The influence of those closest to us is monumental in shaping our path and who we become. Imagine looking at the 5 people you spend the most time with and asking yourself, if I had children, would I want them to emulate these individuals? This question, as challenging as it may be, can provide profound insights into the quality of your relationships. If the answer is no, perhaps it's time to seek new friendships that align with your values and aspirations. If the answer is yes, then you're already amidst the right crowd. Lewis also wrote, "Friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, what? You too? I thought I was the only one." True friendships are those where mutual understanding and shared values thrive. They are the relationships that encourage growth and resilience, much like Lewis's own friendships with the Inklings, a group of writers and thinkers who inspired each other to greater creative heights. So ask yourself, are the people around you building you up or pulling you down? Do they ignite your dreams or douse them with negativity? It's crucial to recognize the impact of your inner circle on your life's trajectory. As you ponder these questions, remember that making a change isn't about abandoning those who need help, but ensuring that you also have the support and encouragement necessary to fulfill your God-given potential. Your destiny is too important to be hindered by the wrong company. Surrounding yourself with the right people can profoundly impact your life. Have you ever considered how the company you keep shapes your aspirations and faith? C.S. Lewis, in his profound wisdom, once said, "Friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value, rather it is one of those things which give value to survival." Reflect on those words for a moment. Are the people around you adding value to your journey, or are they merely obstacles? Imagine this scenario: you're filled with a burning desire to achieve something extraordinary, a dream that God has planted deep within your soul. Yet, every time you share this vision, you hear voices saying, "That's impossible, you can't achieve that," or "Your dream is too grand." These naysayers, often cloaked in the guise of friends, slowly erode your confidence and extinguish your passion. Lewis himself faced numerous critics who doubted his ideas, yet he persevered, surrounding himself with kindred spirits like j.r.r. Tolkien, who believed in him and encouraged his creative genius. Bad company corrupts good character. This biblical wisdom, found in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33, underscores a profound truth: the people you surround yourself with can significantly impact your life's trajectory. Have you ever pondered the power of your social circle? Imagine being raised in a loving home with strong values, only to find yourself swayed by the influences of those who do not share your convictions. The Apostle Paul, in his letter, cautions us that no matter how steadfast our character, the wrong company can lead us astray. C.S. Lewis, in his book, The Screwtape Letters, explores the subtlety of corrupting influences. He illustrates through a fictional dialogue between 2 demons how seemingly harmless associations can lead to spiritual decay. Lewis writes, "Indeed, the safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts. Are we, too, on a gradual slope because of our associations?" Who do you allow into your inner circle? Are they lifting you towards your higher self, or are they dragging you down a path you never intended to tread? Lewis also reminds us in Mere Christianity that the next best thing to being wise oneself is to live in a circle of those who are. Are we wise in our choice of companions, or are we deceived by the illusion of harmlessness in bad company? Think about the people who speak into your life daily. Their words and actions have the power to shape your thoughts, beliefs, and ultimately, your destiny. Lewis believed in the transformative power of good company, noting that friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value, rather it is one of those things which give value to survival. Are your friendships adding value to your life? Or are they undermining your core beliefs? The Bible, with its timeless wisdom, repeatedly emphasizes the importance of choosing our companions wisely. Proverbs 13 verse 20 says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." This is not merely an opinion, it is a divine principle. Paul's warning, "Do not be deceived, bad company ruins good morals," serves as a stark reminder that we are often the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Can you see your future through the lens of your current friendships? Are they leading you towards the fulfillment of your God-given potential, or are they pulling you away from your purpose? Reflect on these questions, for they reveal the deeper truths about the influence of your social circle. In conclusion, as C.S. Lewis profoundly understood, our companions play a crucial role in shaping our spiritual and moral character. Just as bad company can corrupt good character, good company can elevate us to greater heights of virtue and wisdom. Choose your friends wisely, for in them, you will see a reflection of your future. Bad company corrupts good morals. This timeless truth, echoing through the ages, resonates deeply in the hearts of parents and guardians. Why do we fret over the companions our children choose? The answer lies in the profound influence these relationships wield over their character and choices. C.S. Lewis, the celebrated Christian thinker, once remarked, "The next best thing to being wise oneself is to live in a circle of those who are indeed. The company we keep shapes us in ways we often fail to perceive." Consider the subtle yet potent power of influence. Have you ever wondered how your life might have differed had you heeded a different voice? This isn't just a concern for the young or impressionable. Adults, too, are susceptible to the sway of misguided counsel. Lewis insightfully noted, "We are all fallen creatures, and all very hard to live with." This acknowledgement of our inherent flaws underscores the importance of surrounding ourselves with those who uplift rather than diminish us. Think about those moments when you were steered off course by poor advice. The wrong voices can lead us astray, making us blind to the right paths and deaf to wise counsel. These voices often thrive on discord, urging us to view others with suspicion and hostility. Their leadership is rooted in division, fostering a climate of distrust and conflict. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal from someone who was present in your prosperity but vanished in your adversity? Reflect on the pain and heartache that follows when we allow negative influences to guide us. The consequences are not merely emotional but spiritual, diverting us from God's intended path. C.S. Lewis poignantly wrote, "God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world when we stray from his plan. The ensuing suffering often serves as a divine wake-up call." Consider the story of a man who, surrounded by the wrong friends, gradually lost his way. These friends, much like those Lewis described, were there in the good times and gone in the bad times. Their influence led him into a life of turmoil and regret, far from the peace and purpose God had in store for him. This narrative mirrors the experience of many who find themselves ensnared by detrimental relationships. In our journey through life, the voices we choose to listen to can either anchor us in truth or lead us adrift. Are we discerning enough to recognize the right voices? Do we seek out those who reflect God's wisdom and love, as C.S. Lewis encouraged? Let us strive to cultivate relationships that reinforce our moral compass and guide us toward a life aligned with divine purpose. The company we keep is not a trivial matter, it is a vital aspect of our spiritual and moral well-being. The voices we let into our lives shape our paths. When you surround yourself with those who love and follow Jesus, their influence nurtures your soul, encouraging you to stay true to your faith and values. They are the voices that celebrate your commitment to holiness and steadfastness in faith. C.S. Lewis's insights remind us that genuine love is rooted in truth and goodness. As you navigate through life, choose to listen to those who love you deeply and have proven their love over time. Their voices will lead you to a place of spiritual growth and unwavering faith. Who are the people that celebrate you? This question echoes deep within, urging us to reflect on the community we surround ourselves with. As C.S. Lewis wisely noted, friendship is born at the moment when one person says to another, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." It is in these moments of shared joy and mutual celebration that true friendships are forged. Consider those who will rejoice in your journey towards better health, those who will cheer as you delve deeper into your Bible readings, and those who will celebrate the miracles that unfold in your life. These are the individuals who see your victories as their own, who feel a genuine happiness in your successes. But what about those who do not? In Lewis's reflections on Christian behavior, he reminds us that a proud man is always looking down on things and people, and of course, as long as you're looking down, you can't see something that's above you. Surrounding ourselves with people who are perpetually critical is akin to shackling ourselves to negativity. These individuals, as Lewis would argue, are not walking the path of Christ, for their constant tearing down of others blinds them to the higher virtues of love, compassion, and encouragement. Our culture today, much like in Lewis's time, often glorifies the critic and the complainer. But Lewis warns us about the destructive nature of such attitudes. The critic aims to diminish, to break down the accomplishments and aspirations of others. The complainer seeks only to fulfill their desires, often at the expense of others' happiness. In stark contrast, the truth teller, as Lewis highlights, seeks to uplift and improve those around them. They speak with the intent to build, not to destroy, to heal, not to harm. Reflect deeply. Who are the truth tellers in your life? Who speaks into your life with the intention of making you better, of drawing you closer to the ideals that Christ embodies? Who challenges you in a way that fosters growth rather than inciting doubt? Lewis himself found immense value in such relationships, as seen in his profound friendships with fellow thinkers and believers who sharpened his faith and intellect. Have you considered the impact of your social environment on your spiritual and personal growth? Environments filled with support and positivity can transform your mundane interactions into opportunities for growth and elevation. Seek out friends who are steadfast in their commitment to Christ, for they will speak truth in love. Ephesians 4 verse 29 reminds us that such friends aim to build you up, not to tear you down. They mourn with you in times of sorrow and celebrate with you in times of joy, embodying the spirit of Romans 12 verse 15. Do you have people in your life who truly mourn when you mourn and rejoice when you rejoice? Reflect on Lewis's insight. The next best thing to being wise oneself is to live in a circle of those who are. The right companions challenge you to rise higher, to aspire for greatness, and to live out your God-given potential. They are encouragers whose words and actions make you feel valued and understood. When you depart from their company, do you feel a renewed sense of purpose and confidence? These are the voices that God places in our lives to guide us, to uplift us, and to help us realize that we are more than conquerors through Him who loves us. In conclusion, choose wisely the soil in which you plant your life. Seek the companionship of those who embody Christ's love and who will walk with you through every season of life. As Lewis eloquently puts it, is any pleasure on earth as great as a circle of Christian friends by a good fire? Let your circle be one that fuels your fire for God, lifts you up in your times of need, and rejoices with you in your victories. Encouragers have a unique gift. They don't just see the good in others, they vocalize it, infusing hope into weary hearts. Reflecting on this, C.S. Lewis once said, "There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal." This profound insight reminds us that each person is extraordinary and valuable. But how often do we acknowledge and uplift these extraordinary qualities in those around us? True encouragers refuse to let their loved ones settle for mediocrity or succumb to despair. They stand as pillars of strength, urging us to rise above our setbacks, just as Jesus did for Peter after his denial, asking him to feed my sheep, John 21 verse 17. They challenge us not to be defined by our failures or fears, but to see beyond them. Imagine the power of having someone in your life who embodies this spirit of encouragement. When faced with disappointment, such a person won't let you wallow in self-pity. Instead, they echo Lewis's sentiment: failures are finger posts on the road to achievement. They remind you that every setback is a setup for a comeback. Have you ever felt like giving up on your dreams because of a single failure? Picture a voice saying, "Get up. In God's grace, there's a new beginning for you." This isn't mere optimism, it's a faith-filled declaration that your story is far from over. Consider those moments of loss when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. An encourager will be there to say, "Get up. God is about to restore what you lost." They echo the promise of Joel 2 verse 25, "I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten." How comforting it is to be reminded that restoration is on the horizon, that our current state of loss is temporary. For those feeling the sting of singleness, struggling to remain content, an encourager gently but firmly says, "Get up. God is preparing the right person for you." This isn't just about finding a partner, but trusting in God's perfect timing and provision. Lewis beautifully captured this in his quote, "He who has God and everything else has no more than he who has God. Only the essence of true contentment lies in this trust." Financial struggles can be particularly demoralizing, but an encourager infuses hope by declaring, "Get up. God is about to open the windows of heaven in your life." They remind you of Malachi 3 verse 10, where God promises to pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Isn't it reassuring to know that divine provision is on its way, that your current financial struggles are not the end? We all need people who will not only see our potential but will actively help us realize it. They pull us into our destiny, just as God pulled Joseph from the pit and placed him in a position of power in Egypt. They help us see beyond our immediate circumstances, encouraging us to dream again, to hope again, and to rise again. So, who are the encouragers in your life? More importantly, how can you be an encourager to someone else? As Lewis poignantly put it, to love at all is to be vulnerable. In your vulnerability, you find the strength to lift others, to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, and to be a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. Support is essential for everyone, but have you ever wondered where the most profound and unwavering support comes from? It's not just from any source, it's from godly friendships. Reflect on this. The Bible, in Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 to 10, beautifully illustrates, "Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity the one who falls and has no one to help them up." This passage emphasizes the value of companionship and the strength found in mutual support. C.S. Lewis, in his Reflections on Friendship, once said, "Friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, 'What? You too? I thought I was the only one.'" This resonates deeply with the biblical truth, highlighting the divine design of friendship. Godly friendships provide a unique bond that fosters spiritual growth and emotional resilience. Lewis also remarked, "In friendship, we think we have chosen our peers. In reality, a few years difference in the dates of our births, a few more miles between certain houses, the choice of one university instead of another. Any of these chances might have kept us apart. But for a Christian, there are, strictly speaking, no chances." A secret master of ceremonies has been at work. Christ, who said to the disciples, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you," can truly say to every group of Christian friends, "Ye have not chosen one another, but I have chosen you for one another." Have you ever felt the sting of loneliness, where you long for someone to truly understand your struggles and lift you up when you fall? This is where godly friendships come into play. Proverbs 12 verse 26 advises that the righteous choose their friends carefully. The quality of the voices we allow into our lives directly influences our journey. Imagine how your life could transform if you ceased to heed the wrong voices and instead embraced those that guide you toward righteousness and truth. Consider Lewis's insights once more. The next best thing to being wise oneself is to live in a circle of those who are this profound statement underscores the importance of surrounding ourselves with friends who inspire and challenge us to grow in our faith and wisdom. Reflect on your friendships. Are they leading you closer to God and helping you become the person He designed you to be? And then what I want to finish with is a challenge for you: be the right voice. Don't just listen to right voices, you be the right voice. Here's the key: listening to right voices is how you become a right voice. The people who speak into your life, your close inner circle, go a long way towards forming who you are. The people who speak into your life, the people who influence and affect you the most, they need to be right voices, so you'll do the right things, follow the right directions, and become a right voice.